Good, happy Saturday morning, November 16, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this morning, so let's begin. First up, piece of steel from World Trade Center arrives in Londonderry. Piece will be on display in department lobby until permanent memorial built. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9, Mike Cronin.
November is cab month at your Mahindra tractor dealer. Get special cab savings all month long on all cab models from Mahindra, the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Our climate-controlled cabs protect you from cold, heat, bugs, and dust. So work your land in any season and any weather in ultimate comfort.
Chapel Tractor, where you'll notice the difference since 1955.
It is part of American history, and from now on, it will always be a part of Londonderry's history. A special escort from New York City all the way to the Londonderry Fire Department. A sacred piece of steel symbolizing the loss and sacrifice, as well as the bravery and the lives saved on 9/11.
This piece of steel that we have out here represents resilience. It represents what the United States and what we as a country are good for.
These faces helped to bring a piece of the Twin Towers to Londonderry from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, named in memory of New York City firefighter Stephen Siller, who died after saving others inside of the World Trade Center.
He made a decision to go above and beyond. Could have turned around at any point in time, but he did not do that.
3 years ago, Londonderry Fire helped the foundation to transport a part of the World Trade Center to the Gander Airport in Newfoundland, which played a crucial role on 9/11, landing 38 planes and 6,600 people in the small Canadian town. Now, Londonderry gets its own piece to remember and honor. And for generations to come, it's a lesson to never forget.
We honestly feel that the souls of those wonderful people that day are somehow right inside this piece of steel, and that is one of the many reasons it's so special and hallowed.
For now, the piece will be on display in the lobby of the fire department, but come next summer, it will be outside as part of a permanent memorial. In Londonderry, Mike Cronin, WR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Secretary of State Gardner says we're heading toward February 11, 2020 date for primary. Longtime election official to formally set date before Thanksgiving holiday. As the filing period for the first in the nation primary drew to a close on Friday evening, Secretary of State Bill Gardner said it appears that the 2020 primary will be held on February 11th. And then the next day is my birthday. I love politics, as you all know. So this is awesome. A little early kind of birthday gift. Primary voting is going to be very busy that day in New Hampshire. Gardner will make it official before the Thanksgiving holiday, he told WMUR in an interview. But he said that he does not at this time see any other state that might try to push a similar primary ahead of New Hampshire. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for November 16, 2019. We have 3 candidates in New Hampshire today. The first candidate we're going to talk about, Michael Bennett. He has 3 events today in New Hampshire. His first event, Healthcare Conversation with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network at Revelstoke Coffee in Concord, New Hampshire at 1 o'clock p.m. His second event, Town Hall at New England College in Henniker, New Hampshire at 3 p.m. His third event, Meet and Greet at Moe's Brick Oven Pizza in Claremont, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. Also, Chelsea Gabbard, she's in New Hampshire today. She has 1 event today in New Hampshire, Town Hall at Tiller in Somersworth, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. And also Bill Weld is in New Hampshire today. He has 1 event in New Hampshire today. Immigration Policy Talk at Keene State College in Keene, New Hampshire at 11 a.m. Scratch tickets stolen in Manchester convenience store break-ins, police say. Lottery says tickets have been flagged and can't be cashed in. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
November is cab month at your My Hit Retractor dealer. Get special cab savings all month long on all.
We're outside the Mammoth Road convenience store here in Manchester. The owner here tells us 2 people spent roughly 15 minutes in the parking lot trying to break into the front door until they smashed it in with a rock. Surveillance video shows 2 men break in at around 2:30 this morning and run out with a large amount of scratch tickets. A similar theft happened yesterday at Heaven's Gas, also here on Mammoth Road. 2 people broke into a back door and got away with scratch tickets and cigarettes. The Lottery Commission confirms the tickets have been flagged at this point and winning tickets cannot be validated.
Hopefully there's somebody that may have seen something suspicious or just may know something about their mannerisms, the way they walk, anything like that, that might be able to help us out, and we'd love it if they could give us a call.
Right now, police cannot say if the 2 incidents are related. We're live in Manchester. Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Bedford woman killed in crash in North Carolina. Parents say they don't know why daughter was in a vehicle that crashed. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize.
I hope that nobody ever has to get news like we did.
Steve and Renee Patton of Bradford received a call early last Saturday morning that Morgan, their only child, had been killed in a crash in North Carolina. The 24-year-old flew to Jacksonville Friday, but wouldn't be able to see her fiancé Phil until the next morning when he was cleared to leave the nearby Marine base.
He had 3 days off celebrating Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday, and she couldn't wait to spend those 3 days with him.
Morgan told her parents she was getting dinner at Applebee's in the same parking lot as her hotel.
Her last message to us was, I'm going to bed.
Investigators tell the Pattons Morgan came into contact with 2 Marines. The Pattons say neither Morgan or her fiancé knew them. Police say the men left the restaurant and Morgan left alone a few minutes later, but somehow ended up in their vehicle, which crashed 10 to 15 miles away.
She was killed in a vehicle that she never should have been in.
The Pattons say they know this is just the beginning of a long road in seeking justice for Morgan.
We want her voice to be heard loud and clear. We want her to be able to continue the fight through the legal system.
They know they'll be traveling to North Carolina frequently and don't know what kind of help they'll need. They've set up the Miles to Go fund at 2 local banks. Any remaining money will be used to honor their daughter's memory.
There were no limits in her mind. It's if she believed that if she dreamt it, she could achieve it.
In Bradford, Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Inmate claims Patrick Freeze tried to hire gang to kill witness. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News. Sorry about that.
Now to the bombshell testimony of the trial of the man accused of murdering his fiancée, that young mother last seen on Thanksgiving. What we learned just today, and here's Clayton Sandell.
Tonight, an inmate who spent time with Patrick Frazee in county jail testified that just weeks before Frazee went on trial for murder, he tried to hire a prison gang to kill witnesses set to testify against him.
You see him? He's in cuffs.
Frazee is accused of beating fiancée Kelsey Barrett to death last Thanksgiving using a baseball bat. A prosecution expert testifying today, Frazee likely hit Barrett 10 to 15 times. Frazee's former mistress, Crystal Lee, is one of a dozen witnesses who appear on Frazee's alleged hit list. She admitted to cleaning up a devastating crime scene, climbing on Barrett's kitchen counters to wipe down the blood-spattered walls. Prosecutors say Frazee passed those names to his fellow inmate, allegedly writing, "They all need to disappear," and "I'd really like to see Crystal with a bullet in her head." Frazee allegedly wanted the notes flushed, but the inmate, hoping for a lighter sentence on his own charges, turned them over to investigators. Frazee has pleaded not guilty. The jury will begin deciding his fate on Monday.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Saturday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.